All right, unit 5, let's do it. How many more do we have? Not that many? These are easy, right? Oh, gosh. Um, honestly don't know the answer to this question. Bad start. Well, there's only one answer, thankfully. But it's like if you give me this option and you give me this option, I'm gonna be like, oh gosh, guys, I don't know. I think it's so tough. We like oh, I mean like sorry, not that option. That's the same option. If you give me this option or this option, oh shoot. That's wrong. If you give me this option and this option, I'm not gonna. I don't know. Like it's so weird dilations and the order of things and how they happen. It's like we want to dilate first and then shift, which means we want to take the x's and dilate them first, and then we'll shift them. Because if we shift and dilate, it gets weird. It's not what we expect it to be. We like to. Oh gosh. I gotta start this video over again. No, we're gonna stick with this. We're gonna say horizontal stuff is weird. Okay, um, we're gonna keep with this. This is not the order that what you want to do it. You don't want to shift first, then dilate. No. What's the inverse of this? Divide by 3, then add 4. This is a dilation first, then a shift. This is how we like it. If it was like this, I got this. Okay, sorry. Hey, this is like you're reviewing. You got to get it right in your head. Inside, you have to take the inverse, and that's really what Unit 5 is about. Is like inverses. Why it ends up being this dilation of this factor versus this translation or whatever. If you were to solve this equation, you would divide by 3, then add 4. That is showing we are taking our x's, we'll divide them by 3, and then add 4. Like, what is the x you want to plug in so you get 2? Well, 2 divided by 3 plus 4, you would get that number that you'd plug in for x, and it would map to the value 2. So, if you were to do it this way, you would add 4, then divide 3, which means you are going to shift first, then dilate. And it would be kind of different if you take a number, divide it first, then add. It's different than if you add first, then divide. We don't like to do it this way, though it might be important to remember it's like it's an inverse. You're going to undo what's being done. Just make sure the order makes sense. This is dilate and then add. This is add, then dilate. I don't think we're going to worry about it though. But like this is a weird one because it's not in parentheses. Anyways, if you skip that, great. Inverse is undo. If we have an equation, what's the inverse? Well, I want to take my x's that map to y. I want to take my y's and map them back to x. This is another. This is like oh, this is like I'm thinking I got to divide. It's like what the hell is going on here? No way, right? 2. Yeah, holy cow. Like, Passwater, what are you doing with this inverse stuff? I can solve this for x. Making sure I do this right. If it's y equals 2 plus negative 11 over x plus 4, I can subtract 2, flip both sides, multiply by negative 11, subtract 4, use a common denominator. Yo, too complicated. No way is this. There it is, guys. That's right there. Yo, there's got to be an easier way. What's the easier way? Plug in some points. If I plug in 3 halves into f, f of 3 halves equals 0. One of these, this has got to be the easiest way to check it, besides what I just did, which is insane. And I've never done it. Never done it that way, dividing first. Plug in 3 halves, you get 0. The inverse has to have the point 0 comma 3 halves. If I plug in 0, I get positive 3 halves. If I plug in 0, don't get it. If I plug in 0, don't get it. If I plug in 0, I don't get it. Yo, there you go. Hints. If F's got AB, F inverse has got BA. This is not easily solvable for x because x is not isolated. If you multiply both sides by x plus 4, you have this y times x plus 4. You actually have to divide to find the inverse by hand, and then it gets complicated. But let's say it's not going well. You're not sure what to do. Don't give up. Think about some other things. What is true about inverses? Points are flip-flopped. A goes B, B goes back to A. Plug in a point. Hell, plug in 2. F of 2 equals 1/6. F inverse has to have the point 1/6 comma 2. That one's going to be 1/6 comma 2. That's not the easiest one. Try to get a whole number. Plug in negative 3. Why negative 3? Because I'm going to get a 1 in the denominator. F of negative 3 equals negative 6 minus 3, which is negative 9, over 1. That means F inverse has to have the point negative 9, negative 3. Negative 9, positive 36 minus 3 is 33. Negative 9 minus 2 is negative 11. Let's so positive. No. Negative 9 times negative 4 is positive 36 minus 3 is positive 33. Positive 3 divided by negative 11 is negative 3. Bam. Woo! Way to start things off strong, Mr. Mester. Unify. Well, I'm telling you, that's tricky. Okay, h being bigger than 3, h is g of f of x. G of f of x. X minus 1 can be brought down times log base 3 of 9 has to be bigger than 3. Log base 3 of 9 is 2. 2x minus 2 has to be bigger than 3. 2x has to be bigger than 5. X has to be bigger than 5 halves. Woo! Another good one. Hey, let's slow things down a little bit. 59. Compositions. This is really why, like, the compositions and then undoing the compositions is really why the horizontalness works opposite of how we expect, because we got to undo things. So if we understand compositions and we understand inversing, undoing, boom, we understand dilations horizontally and translations horizontally. G of f of x is 2x minus 1 plugged in wherever x is. 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 plus 6x minus 3. Compose f of g of x. Plug in 3x wherever you see it. That's going to be 4 to the 9x squared. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Yo, tough questions from Unit 5. You will see on the calculator section of this unit more problems from Unit 5. Why? We are only giving you the problem sets where if you had a calculator, you could use it to kind of cheat your way to getting the answer without knowing the concepts. Okay? So the no calculator portion has all the questions where the calculator could help you. The calculator portion of the test is not just calculator problems. You'll see that. The calculator portion of the test is typically questions where even if you have a calculator, it won't help you, or you have to use your calculator, okay? So you're going to see more Unit 5 on your next homework, and we will do more like domain versus range kind of stuff, and like if you have this point and it undergoes this type of transformation, what happens? So if you don't feel great about Unit 5 after these pretty tough questions, don't worry, we're going to be doing more on the calculator portion. All right.